This is Stay Paid, a sales and marketing podcast on a mission to help you close more deals and retain more business.
Welcome to another Silver Dollar episode of Stay Paid. My name is Joshua Stike.
And I'm Luke Aker.
And Luke, one of the biggest challenges for any service-based professional is simply being remembered.
You got to be remembered
for their services. With more and more communication and competition for people's attention, you have to stay top of mind to even have a shot at earning your ideal client's business. So today we're going to talk about the science of being remembered and then the 7 character traits that you can adopt that will make you unforgettable.
Yes, this is the key. If there's one thing in business that you have to have, it's being unforgettable.
Yeah, we preach it all the time. I mean, you know, you look at the stats about the people will use the first business that they think of over 70%.
Yeah, well, in real estate alone, it's 82%.
82% will use
the first agent they interview.
Yeah. So want to take a step back here because this is actually a blog post that our content writer, Gabrielle,
yeah, she did an amazing job
with that. She also said she loves when she hears her name mentioned on the podcast. So thanks, Gabrielle.
We love you, Gabrielle.
But anyway, kind of looking at this idea of, we'll talk about what is memory. So she goes through this, this idea. And I think it's important to understand some of these things. Number one is, what is memory? Number two is, why do we actually forget? So there's 3 different types of memory. The scientists don't know this completely, but this is kind of what they
This is their best
So
guess.
You got sensory memory, which is memory that lasts only a couple milliseconds. You then have short-term memory, which is where you're holding information for about 30 seconds. And then long-term memory is the interesting part, because this is a process called memory consolidation, where it takes short-term memories are strengthened with frequent rehearsal until they become deeply embedded and can be recalled at will. So your goal as a memorable service professional is to make an impression so strong that it endures long enough to make it into your clients.
And be frequent, make that impression over and over again.
Yeah. So ways that we forget. So one theory is called the K theory. This is if a memory is not reinforced, it will eventually fade. The example given there was if you walk the same path, through a field every day, eventually you will see a path in the field. If you walk through it once and don't walk through it again, that path will actually fade. The same thing is happening in your brain with memories. If you kind of retrace something over and over again, that will reinforce it into your memory. The other reason we forget is interference theory. So this is when memories get in the way of others.
Too many things going on in the brain.
That's why it's like, I guess when you get older, it's harder to remember things. You just got more information.
You got more memories.
But this speaks to the whole idea of there's a lot of competition for people's attention out there. So you've got to overcome the interference theory. Failure to store is another one. This is how you interpret information. So the more complex information is, the harder it is to remember, which is why it's so important to simplify your communication. We just mentioned in the last podcast, Donald Miller, but he says, if you confuse, you lose.
Yep.
So if you're making your communication too complex, people will not be able to encode it and store it. And then the last one is motivated forgetting. This is when people willfully try to forget. So a lot of times this deals with coping with painful memories or bad experiences. So
I have that often with the dad jokes that we tell at the end.
No, that's brutal, man. I had one dad.
Wow. You didn't deserve that, Josh. Your dad jokes are great.
That was a good joke. I don't get a laugh for that. Jeez.
It was good. Brutal, but good.
All right, so let's get to the meat of it. His 7 things that actually makes a person memorable. The quote from Maya Angelou was pointed out in this article. It says, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And all of these characteristics link back to that idea of how you make people feel. So the first one is optimism.
Yeah. I feel like I have this in spades. I was actually told this morning, I said to somebody, I was at a YPO event, which is kind of a group mastermind, and they told me, you're just so positive and optimistic. I said, I see the glass half full. No. Even if it's a quarter of the way full, you see it all the way full. And I was like, just because I feel like optimism is what creates movement in people. Like when misery loves company, but misery does not move.
Yeah.
Right. Optimism, like that creates a movement. There's positivity, there's energy.
Yeah.
And so you don't stay where you're at, you actually move forward. And so my theory is when you're optimistic, when you're positive, people move in their life. And when they make change in their life, that makes a bigger impact on them.
Well, actually, like optimistic people stand out more because of that, because they see the good in most things. Our brains have evolved to pay attention and focus on the negative. right? Because it's just an evolutionary trait. You have to
survive.
Survival, right? So people that are actually optimistic actually stand out as a pattern interrupt for us because oh, wow, that's something different. So it makes you more memorable.
You want to know how you can stand out super easy with people making a first impression. Just literally smile at them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just when you're walking down the street, when you're meeting someone just smile because it engages them and they want to smile back.
It actually triggers the cingulate cortex.
Does it really?
Which is the part of the brain that's responsible for processing emotions.
There you go.
Just by smiling at someone. So how can you apply this to your business? Reassure your clients that you can solve their problems, right? Eliminate the fear and the doubt. Remain optimistic throughout the process. The second one is reliability, trustworthiness, and taking responsibility for one's actions. So predictability actually puts the human brain at ease, and we tend to admire people more that admit their mistakes, and then in turn that makes admirable people are just more memorable.
Do you remember when we did the disruptor and the keynote speaker there? Do you remember his name? I can't remember his name. He wasn't very memorable, but this stood out to me.
Not good.
I can't remember his name, but maybe it was Harris. But
Tyler Jack Harris?
Yeah, Tyler Harris. So we did. He was memorable.
Yeah.
But Tyler Harris said something about his most popular YouTube video, which was his vulnerability about his struggle with alcoholism.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like that made us relate to him more and trust him more, seeing his journey, how he took ownership over that, how he, if you're reading off of this, the reliability, the trustworthiness, the responsibility, all played out through that vulnerability.
Yep. So how do you apply that to your business? Well, look, do what you're going to say you're going to do. So if you tell your clients that you're going to do something, make sure that you do it. That instills that reliability and trustworthiness in your business. The third one is tenacity. So this is the ability to persist in the face of hardship and to demonstrate purpose. I think about the old acronym you used to talk about CAR.
Yeah, curiosity, annoyance, resentment, respect.
Right, yeah.
Because it's 2 R's.
Just continue to be
the amount of times
in your follow-up.
Yeah, the amount of times I've called people 20, 30 times and they were very frustrated with me because I kept annoying them. But then they would tell me how much they respected me, try to recruit me, right? It's like,
I heard you telling someone on the phone the other day, like, hey, if you're at these conferences and they're not making jokes about wanting to get you on your team.
If you don't get multiple job offers, then you are definitely not trying hard enough.
Yeah. So obviously the way you can apply that to your business is make sure that you are following up. I think so many people, we know the stats, so many leads are wasted because people are.
And you're playing into that memory of rehearsal. What was it? The frequent rehearsal.
Yeah.
It's like the frequency of your follow-up, the frequency of getting in front of them, saying the same thing over and over again, just solidifies in their brain your passion. And it really influences your trustworthiness too.
Yep. All right. So the fourth factor that makes a person memorable is their self-confidence. So people with self-confidence remain calm in stress-filled situations. They have a positive attitude, ultimately feel valued.
Yeah. The saying I always give to salespeople is confidence reflects competence. People want to buy from people they look up to, meaning that someone who knows more than them that can help them achieve something in their life. If you are confident, you have altitude on a subject matter, you're rehearsed, you're going to come across as competent and people will buy from you.
Yeah. So I think those are some great points in terms of making sure that you have rehearsed your pitches, make sure that you're very knowledgeable of your market and of your area. That will help to instill that confidence. And ultimately people feel safe and protected from negative consequences when they see someone with that self-confidence. Number 5, and I think this is a good one to play off of from the tenacity standpoint, right? Because we talk about calling and being very tenacious in that, but also respectfulness, right? So respectfulness is the 5th thing. So this includes listening to people, hearing their objections. Don't treat clients the way that you want to be treated. Treat them the way that they want to be treated. Honoring their communication preferences, using their name, right? Whenever speaking with them, saying thank you, being humble in your communication as well, all leads back to
not being afraid to walk away from closing the deal. Like one of the most powerful ways to close a deal is to tell the prospect this might not be the best fit for them.
Yeah.
Because it's a true respectfulness of like, I'm only going to sell this to you if this can truly help your business and if you're truly committed to doing it. And if you're committed and I believe it can help your business, I will actually sell it to you.
Absolutely. Number 6, this one should be obvious, but interpersonal connectedness. So obviously this is at the heart of every relationship. Without it, there is no relationship. But it also includes going above and beyond, right? Reaching out to people, being there for others in their time of need, giving value, and not asking for anything in return is another way to build and strengthen those interpersonal connectedness. Remembering an anniversary, sending a graduation card, or just calling to check in. Those are all examples of ways that you can do that in your business as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the number one key. I think
we could have just said that and been like, this is a 3-minute podcast.
Yeah.
Just care for others and you will be remembered.
Put others above yourself. It's the golden rule too.
And number 7 is resilience. So according to the American Psychological Association, resilience is the process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. In layman's terms, it's your ability to withstand adversity and bounce back and grow despite life's downturn. So how does this apply to your business? Look, this is how you accept rejection, right? Show your resilience.
And there's a lot of it
let
in
them
business.
know that you're there. If they ever need anything in the future, include a nice parting comment. Don't walk away from a deal or from a no, having any bad blood about it or anything like that. Just be resilient in how you handle it.
A lot of times how you respond will do wonders to help you earn the business way quicker than you thought, or even the referral.
Yeah. Ultimately, look, the whole point here is making sure that your interactions with your prospects and clients leave them feeling good, safe, valued, and respected. If you do those things and you do that consistently in your business, you will become unforgettable.
Unforgettable.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. You can head on over to staypaidpodcast.com for the show notes and the video of this episode. And if you're looking for ways to support the show, you know what? Try Reminder Media out. Try Reminder Media out in your business.
Become unforgettable, ladies and gentlemen.
We will help you become unforgettable. ReminderMedia.com/unforgettable. No, there's no /unforgettable.
But there will be after the show.
How iconic would that have been?
There is a special offer for Stay Paid listeners at staypaidpodcast.com/offer. Did you guys see that the first photograph of a black hole was released today?
I did see that.
You did see it?
I did see that.
It sucks.
No one knows, though, what happens when you get sucked into it. Nobody knows.
I remember watching this science program one day when they talked about
forward in time.
Yeah, what would happen if you got sucked into a black hole? And they talk about like the event horizon, right? And it's like this period where like your body would stretch out over like this insane amount of space, because it's literally being like, if you were to look at it straight on, it would be you. But if you were to look at it from above, you would be like stretched.
What?
Ever since I saw that, I have a lot more trouble sleeping.
That's
I can't say I'm surprised.
But they did just release, I think, the first sound from a black hole.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
I was actually going to make a dad joke about memory loss, but I couldn't. Never mind. If you want to get a hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@remindingme.com. And of course, you can find us on Instagram. We are at Stay Paid Podcast. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
Guys, I'm Luke Acree. The key to business is being unforgettable, right? Unforgettable with your clients, unforgettable with your prospects. We just laid out for you 7 traits. I'm going to read them for you. Look at your process and go, are you optimistic? Are you reliable? Do you have tenacity? Are you portraying self-confidence? Are you showing respect? Are you practicing interpersonal connectedness? And are you resilient? If you apply those 7 things, you are going to be unforgettable. Remember, the difference between top producers and mediocre producers is they take action. Take action on that today.